Right. Starting off the recording announcement, I'd like to inform everyone that Sean Driscoll, the authority's communication director, is making audio and video recordings of today's meeting. If anyone else is making an audio or video recording of today's meeting, please identify yourself by pressing the raise your hand icon on the Zoom dashboard, or if you are joining by telephone, by pressing *9 on your keypad, and when you are recognized, please state your name for the record.
Don't see anybody, Mr. Jones.
Okay. Pursuant to Section 20 of Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021, as amended, board members participating remotely in today's meeting because of their physical attendance today would be unreasonably difficult. Board members are participating in the meeting by Zoom video conference app, and all members will be clearly audible to each other. As a result of the remote participation in this meeting, any and all votes taken by the members today shall be called by roll call vote. Can everybody hear us audibly?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I can.
Yep. Yep.
Appears to be. And okay. All right. Cloudy as it is. Bob, you want to open it?
Sure. So today's meeting is to request approval of a renewal of the authority's license agreement with Sea Streak LLC, which operates seasonal passenger ferry service between New Bedford and Martha's Vineyard and between New Bedford and Nantucket, for a term expiring December 31st, 2027. In September, earlier this year in September, Sea Streak was sent notification of the pending expiration of their license agreement. The notification invited that renewal request be forwarded promptly in order to have a request vetted by the Port Council and the board. On the evening of November 15th, Sea Streak advised myself that it wished to renew its license. In their renewal request, Sea Streak also noted they wished to operate its off-season inter-island service to Nantucket during the upcoming Thanksgiving and Christmas holidays. And then on November 27th, 2024, Sea Streak submitted a modification to its license renewal request. As Sea Streak's license agreement expired as of October 31st, the scheduled proposal for the services for the holidays was something that was beyond my authorization and had to be brought to the board's attention. And that's where we are today. Sea Streak's latest scheduling proposal does have some potential conflicts with the authority's 2025 operating schedules that may result in some delayed service. For example, Sea Streak's proposed 2:50 p.m. arrival in Vineyard Haven conflicts with the authority's 2:50 p.m. departure from Vineyard Haven. So under the terms of the license, Sea Streak acknowledges that the authority from time to time may change in its sole discretion its schedule of operations, and as a consequence may require Sea Streak to change its license trips so that neither conflicts with those of the authority nor cause undue congestion in the harbors. Accordingly, any potential conflicts with the authority's 2025 operating schedules or 2026 and 2027 must be vetted and resolved before the proposed service begins. So the proposal that's before you, staff, is of the opinion that Sea Streak's scheduling proposal be approved for service between December 5th, 2024 and December 31st, 2027, provided all Sea Streak's proposed arrival times in Vineyard Haven and Nantucket that conflict with the arrival times of the authority's vessels must be vetted and resolved to the satisfaction of the authority's general manager and its marine operations department. So I do see a couple people in the audience from Sea Streak. I don't know whether any of them would like to make any comments or whether you'd like to ask any questions of them.
Does Sea Streak wish to speak?
I saw Mr. Jeffries had his hand up. I don't know whether he wanted to speak first.
Okay, Peter?
This is more, I guess, a question for council. Moving forward with our licenses in the future, is there a way that the board could give the general manager the authority to issue an interim license when a license expires for a period of time, obviously with some consequence financially to the license application, so that we don't get in the situation we were in, not through our own fault, but we don't get in a situation where, C Street couldn't provide Thanksgiving service because of the notice requirement to the board, or having to have the board meet in an emergency session. Is there a way that we could adapt our licenses and give the authority to the general manager to continue a license on an interim basis for, say, 30, 45 days, but with a fee for that consequence?
Just for discussion, because we haven't made a motion, I had thought about a different approach. First of all, it's not our job, to remind license holders, that when their license are due and for renewal. I mean, that's just a given. But I think, looking back at what we ran into with 41 North, where UPS neglected to renew their licenses or request, and so they went out and made an agreement with 41 North, and it would have been, they came to ask for, 70 round trips, which is a pile of money that we would have lost. But what the Steamship Authority did, we granted 41 North permission, but the authority went out and booked those trips on our own vessels. So we weren't out the dollars for that, whatever. But I would suggest very simple. If we know that a licensee is due for renewal, a very simple note to maybe a month in advance or whenever that, that the license are due on such and such a date. It would save us a lot of problems, but I don't know how much time and energy was spent renewing those, booking those UPS trucks onto the authority. But as I understand it, 41 North in the end only took one UPS truck. But it'll be very simple as a courtesy thing to notify these people that your license are due and the board is going to take it up at our next meeting or whatever. Very simple, could save a lot of problems, both sides, and do it that way. I would prefer not having the general manager taking that liberty. I don't see that any case that we wouldn't grant it anyways, but it just seems like, why should it would be so easy just to send an email, and that would save us a lot of problems, would save them a lot of problems, and everybody remains friends. So I appreciate your thought, Peter. I'd rather go a different way personally, but Jim.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Am I incorrect, Bob? I thought that we did send them another notification when we didn't get anything.
Yes, Terrence did send a notification not only to C Street, but the other license carriers back in September, advising them that their licenses were soon expiring, and if they wish to renew them, to contact us with their proposal.
Mr. Barker's raised his hand as well. Do you want me to bring him over?
Yes, please.
Okay. Take a second. I'll bring him over as panelist.
Okay, yeah. Good morning, Bob. Can you hear me?
Morning, Jim.
Good morning.
And the Steamship Authority Board. Yes, we're good, thank you, and do apologize for this. We certainly will not let this happen again. It's embarrassing. I know, Bob, I spoke to you right before the holiday and did apologize for our neglect. It is our fault, and we accept responsibility for it completely. So I do just wanted to start out by saying that we will not let this happen again, no matter, what the procedures are, we will follow them, and do appreciate this meeting today for our license renewal in light of the Christmas stroll coming up. So thank you. And we agree with everything that you said prior as well on the schedule.
So just so
Any
I,
questions?
just so I can be heard on this, Bob. So yeah, I mean, I did just to make it absolutely clear. So I think Peter's question was, can we give the authority to the general manager? The answer is yes, if the board wishes to amend the licensing policy. Right now, the general manager on the licensing policy has the ability to change minor scheduling situations. So for example, it's alluded to in the staff summary where if there's a conflict with the scheduling, the operating schedule, we can work that out with C-Streak or any other licensee and make sure that the schedules are not conflicting so that we have delays and what have you, and not overburden the poor communities and the traffic in the harbor, especially during the summertime. So there is that flexibility already in the schedule. But to Peter's specific question, there's no interim power or authority to extend the license once it expires. And so, I took a look at and just to make it clear, so back in, as Bob said, I think it was the 23rd of September, I sent notices out to all the licensees, knowing that some renewed in October and some renewed in December. One thought is some of these folks licensees, I should say, don't operate year round. They do end after Columbus Day, whereas some others are able to operate through the end of the year. So for example, like Highline operates as we know, operates through the year. So we just have to be mindful of the deadlines and communicate with folks. And again, there's that word again, communication. So I think it worked well in this situation. I think we just got caught up because again, we didn't get the renewal request until, as Bob was saying, nearly after hours on a Friday before a really busy board meeting. And if everybody knows the budget and what have you was the big item for the last board meeting. So that took up quite a bit of bandwidth of the meeting. So in any event, I just wanted to put those 2 cents in there and leave it at that. And the staff summary kind of speaks for itself. So if anybody has any questions, just let me know.
No, Jim, go ahead.
Thanks. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I guess my point on this in regard to Peter's motion is when Steamship Authority is trying to do all it can for its customers, and we see a situation coming like that, I hate it when the Steamship Authority gets blamed for this situation, even though, I recognize that people took responsibility for what went on. But we've got enough stuff going on with the public. I frankly don't see a problem with allowing the general manager, perhaps with consultation in some respect, to extend a schedule for a limited period of 15 or 30 days in a situation like this, so that over the Thanksgiving holiday, the people going to and from Nantucket and the island, all of a sudden don't start blaming the Steamship Authority for travel problems. That's my 2 cents.
So just on that
Any
point, just on that point, Jim, we can certainly, if the board wishes us to change the policy, I can definitely draft something in time for next week's board joint meeting with the Port Council. That's not a problem. One of the things that we did here for C Street, because they have indicated that they want to operate, they've wanted to operate Thanksgiving and Christmas time. That's why we're extending the deadline to December 31st for them. I'm hoping that change will not impede them in the future, and we'll roll with this for the next 3 years under the term of the license agreement. So anyway, whatever you folks want to do, I can draft that up and have it for presentment next week if folks so choose to do that.
Well, for myself, I'm just gonna play a hard line. We sign a contract and agreement. I mean, it's pretty plain as to when the duration of it. There should be no real excuse why somebody doesn't, follow the contract. And so, therefore, I'm more than happy, to grant this request today. But I just think, that what good is a contract, if somebody doesn't perform, that the general manager can say, well, it's okay. And I just think it's an easy deadline you put on your calendar and you get the job done. So I'm not interested in giving interim support to it for myself anyways. So Peter, if you'd like to make a motion to that, we can.
I was going to say, I mean, my thought, if I'm just clear my thought, I just think it might be worth exploring. I'm not necessarily looking to make a motion that we move forward with that. It was more a question, one, if the board could grant that authority and then maybe explore what that would look like. I don't think if the general manager, if we move to this, that granting an interim or temporary extension on a license should come without financial consequence for the person who missed the deadline to renew their license. But I also don't want the consequence of that falling on the traveling public. So it's trying to balance those two issues. I would really rather just see us kind of explore that in the new year and not necessarily need to make a motion on it or a vote on it in December. I just think it's something that it might be worth considering to see what that may look like if we granted that to the general manager. But and I agree with you that it shouldn't be without consequence. It shouldn't just be an extension to the licensee without some type of financial remuneration back to the authority for expediting that.
Thank you,
So-
Jim.
I'd like to make a motion, Mr. Chairman, to approve the recommendation of the Steamship Authority Management.
I'll second.
Okay, would you repeat the motion then?
Approve the recommendation of management.
Okay, is there any further discussion? Okay, roll call vote. Rob,
Granny, aye.
Jones, nay. Peter,
Jeffrey, aye.
Jim,
Falcon, aye.
okay, Maura,
Aye.
sorry,
Kearney, aye.
okay. It's 41 that the manager now has the
Well,
opportunity.
hold on, Bob, just a second. I think let me clarify, Mr. Malkin's motion, I believe, was to approve the renewal of Steve Street's license. Is that fair, Jim?
That is correct, as presented by management.
And that's what I
Thank-
seconded.
So we're jumping around a little, I think there's a little bit of confusion. So the motion before the board right now, Mr. Jones, is approval of Steamship's Sea Streak's license for the next 3 years. So do you want
Thank
to,
you.
do you want to revisit your nay vote or?
I am in favor.
Okay, so
But
we're gonna go 5-0 in favor of approving the 3-year license to Sea Streak through December of 2027, just to make sure. And Sean's
It's,
writing vigorously,
Yes,
I see.
I got it, Terry. It's unanimous. I didn't
Very good.
understand that. Why I asked to repeat it. You know what my ears are. They don't work.
Oh, I
They
got you.
just-
And I think the other
They're
thing
just
is,
on there for decoration. That's all.
well, I'm just writing
So
my
I-
notes here, and I think Peter's looking to just kind of punt the issue to next year for further discussion. Is that fair, Peter?
Yeah, that is correct.
Okay.
You have
Got it.
approval, Jim, and it's good to see you, and good luck in the coming season.
Thank you very
Any-
much.
Okay, anything further? Is there any public comment? If none,
Well, I guess if anyone's online and has public comment, just hit your raise your hand icon, but I think I've pretty much accounted for everybody. No, I see no public comment, Mr. Jones.
okay, could we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Okay, moved. Roll call, please.
Who's second?
I'll second.
Okay, Rob again?
Randy, aye.
Jones, aye.
Jeffrey, I.
Falcon, aye.
Tierney, I.
Okay,
Thank you,
we
everyone.
hope everybody had a
Thank
good
you.
Thanksgiving. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.